show where you submit replays and I cast them. I am Delthius. How's it going, everybody? Just finished casting a best of 5 for the VSHL Qualnez tournament. Don't forget to tune in to Jet Eric's channel. Stay on top of that Discord for announcements when the stream will happen. I think most of the matches will be over on Jet Erickson's Twitch or right here where you're watching. And we've got TNT Championship Season 2. It's going to kick off on Monday, guys, so don't forget to sign up for that as well. Monday is the deadline to sign up. Don't be shy if you're a new player. There's beginner, intermediate, and premier divisions. A lot of fun. We actually have like a huge prize pool this time around. A lot of people contributed to it, so thanks everybody who did that. It's really cool. Helps us gain some validity as an esport, as an indie competitive game. So that's very awesome. And yeah, without further ado, we're just going to hop into it. We got a full feast here tonight. I've been getting a ton of replay submissions, so thank you very much, everybody who continues to submit. Keep them coming, guys. ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. I do have a lot, but I also have a lot from like a few specific people, so it'd be really awesome to just get more unique submitters in here, you know, so we can see as many different players as we can. So let's start things off nice and strong. Looks like everything, all systems go here. Got my warm-up casting done for the important thing. Now, have fun and watch some replays. So let's hop into it. All right, spawn on the left. We've got Big Pippintosh. His opponent up top, Airlu. Airlu rocking that triple tier too. I do like that. I think it's a good way to play nowadays. It is tempting to take a defense, of course. You know, turrets have kind of come back into the meta, more for aggressive reasons than defensive. But you can always build that clutch turret to really help you defend some greedy openings. And meanwhile, we've got Tosh doing his typical Tosh craziness here. Double tier 3, double defense. And gonna try to get through the early game on the back of Squizzard. I do like that. You know, Squizzard is really strong against most tier 2 comps. I would say probably not Chameleon, you know, but against basically any of the other ones, Squizzard can go pretty toe-to-toe, so. This is kind of a wonky map here. You know, Airlu's definitely gonna be happy about that natural, but taking a third base would be difficult for him. I guess the best candidate would be over here in 3 o'clock. A little bit of a mole rush coming in. And Tosh doesn't have any turrets, doesn't have moles of his own or anything like that, so he is going to be forced into that cell. However, Airlu did lose 10 food to do that. So, a little bit of no harm, no foul. It's kind of interesting that Tosh didn't opt to just rebuild that 8th farm. Maybe he was worried about like a follow-up immediate mole rush and instead just goes right into a second base. Gets a nice scout off, knows Airlu is going for a similar thing here. It is not that crazy by your standards. That is very true. Alright, now getting into that 8th farm. And maybe Airlu was thinking some counter aggression was going on by building that defensive mole there. And he's not wrong, you know, we do see some lizards moving across the map, but it's only 6. Wow, Airlu actually sold the mill, so maybe I misread that. It looks like Airlu was just trying to fake Tosh out. You know, make him think that he wanted to go into more of a standard mid-game here, where really he's gearing up for a big push. And I don't know if Tosh is going to have the right comp here to defend this. Typically, lizards are not the greatest on defense. You know, squirrels benefit a little bit more from being able to hunker down within those structures, within the pig line. But Tosh is coming out and doing a good job so far. The extra DPS from those lizards is really making a big difference here. And Airlu's going to have to pack it up and go home. Airlu did knock out a Warren, so that's not nothing. But I think Airlu was hoping for a little more damage there. Does he know about the second base? He does. He doesn't know how many farms Tosh has, and Tosh is just now starting to put a couple on there. Tosh, again, going to try to run around and get something done with lizards. One thing I love about this Squizzard opening is you can like run around with a few lizards, but you don't have to commit to a crazy amount and leave yourself really vulnerable to a counterattack if you end up losing them all, you know, harassing or something. So yeah, Erlu knows what's up now and is like, all right, we can take this into more of a mid game. Both players kind of stuck in that tier 1 chicken. You know, you don't want to be caught expanding and building tier 2 when your opponent, you know, maybe sells off their farms and spams down a bunch of moles and comes for your face. Erlu actually getting up to 4 farms here. And here comes Tosh with that tier 3. This back area just tempting, man. It's like the Tooth and Tail gods just blessed him. He's like, go double tier 3, man. Look, there's 2 nice little spots for tier 3 Warrens. They're hard to scout. And scouting those tier 3 Warrens is definitely a huge part of it. You got to know those things are coming in, since they build, you know, a lot decently faster than they used to, like 10 seconds faster. Every second that you don't know it's coming is pretty big. You know, if Erlu knew about the tier 3, he'd probably want to get into some Falcons. He sees it now, and he actually sees that it just finished. So he knows it's going to be out in like 50, I think it's 50 seconds, right? 50 or 45. And yeah, he's going to go into the Falcons, and you'll have just enough time to get those Falcons out. At least one from each Warren, because it's 20 seconds for the Warren, and then 20 seconds for the unit. 45, yeah. Yeah, it went from, I wasn't sure if it went from 55 to 50 or 50 to 45. Yeah, so Erlu will have 2 Falcons out around the same time this Badger hits. And Falcons 3 and 4 will be on the way. He's even desperately trying to get out some more, just going for a lot of tier 2. I think he might be overbuilding tier 2 here. You know, you do need some meat on the front to repel this, you know, to kind of tank for your Falcons. And sure, he would have that if the Chameleons are out, but I don't know if he's going to get them out in time. It looks like a couple are going to get here. Some last-minute moles on the way. But Tosh just has so much fodder here with all these lizards. The Badger crushing in. But this very tier 2 heavy army from Erlu's just not quite ready yet. Well, as I say that, 2 HP on this Badger, it starts to run away. But since the rest of Tosh's army is in tier 1, they are going to reinforce very fast. There's no water here for the Badger. There's no pigeons. So Tosh is going to have to micro very well, but even with the best micro in the world, the Badger will eventually fall. But the question is, did Tosh do enough with that Badger? And can he hold off Erlu's counterattack here? It doesn't quite look like it. Tosh with the last-ditch effort, going to finish off this mill. Which actually puts Erlu into starvation here. Can Tosh mount the comeback? He was hoping for another Badger. But Erlu's not going to let it happen. Tosh has got nothing left here. Gonna try to desperately get down some squirrels, but Erlu is starving. He already invested in the mill, which is nice. So he doesn't have to sell anything off. Actually, he will after these units build. He doesn't have enough money for a farm, but maybe you get rid of the moles or something. I mean, the Cam Falcon army seems pretty good. Alright, Tosh trying to bring this back, trying to build up a nice bread and butter army of pure squirrel here to defend this attack coming out from Erlu. And Tosh has a huge economic lead, but does he have enough boots on the ground is the question. Erlu knows he needs to get the maximum amount of value out of every unit possible. Gonna wait for everything before he comes in. And Erlu's got a very nice unit comp, but this is it for him. He can't remake any of these armies. He's got it in the game right here, right now. It looks like he is gonna have enough. Very close match there. Alright, let's keep it rolling. Game number 2. Spawning on the right, we've got Fleur de Lis. And over on the left, Sataros. This is a crazy map. Looks like both players have decent access to a second base. But, you know, this is going to be a war zone. You know, with expansions so close to each other. There is the option for either side to come down and hit some of these other mills as well. Looks like Satoros is going to do a mole rush. Is Fleur going to scout this? He does. Just goes ahead and sells off that farm. A little early there, but it does allow him to get the other farms building faster, and Satoros just decides to go home and back it up, so. We'll transition nicely into some 8-farm openings here, and I'm really curious what the decision-making is going to be for these second bases. You know, on one foot, it's risky to take the base here, right? Because you're so close to your opponent's base. But on the other hand, if you take this base and your opponent grabs this one, then now it's going to be difficult to maintain this area. And this high ground right here in between these two home bases is very, very important. Whoever controls that will probably end up winning the game. But so far, 8-farm doubles from both sides. Standard stuff. We do see a fox here. But Fleur's got a lot of stuff to deal with the fox. You know, the snakes and owls are always pretty good. Especially with road like this. I mean, the fox does outrange the snake, but it's easy to forget about the road speed boost, you know. And yeah, Satoru's going to go ahead and place his flag up here on this high ground and get going on this second base. How many farms is he going to commit to is the question. So far, Fleur is just hammering down that squirrel key and goes ahead and takes an expansion as well. All right. So this is gonna get pretty tense pretty fast. It's a shame, you know, imagine if Fleur had balloons in this deck for this map, you know? Throw a balloon right where that mole warren is. That would be sick. And Fleur looks like he wants to go into some aggression. Satoros knows it. Seen the mole warrens. A little bit of a bait mill here. Doesn't invest in any farms. But Satoros hasn't done anything crazy like going for a tier 2 or something. He's basically on tier 1. And it is possible to hold here. You know, they're especially now that Fleur put down that farm, so they've invested the same amount into that second base. Yeah, maybe we won't see aggression at the moment. Maybe both players are just kind of building up some moles to kind of have them hanging around. You know, it is very risky to do anything crazy with rush distances being so small here. And Fleur gonna go for those skunks. And they're positioned in such a spot that if he loses this area, that warren's going to go down too, but I think he's just trying to bank on, you know, Satoros not thinking to scout up here for a tier 2 warren, right? Because it would make more sense to place it back where it'd be safer. So this is a little bit of an all-in-y position from Fleur, in my opinion. You know, if Fleur loses this middle area, he's going to have to sell off all this stuff here, which sure he can get the money back for, but it would be a huge hit in tempo. And if you just lost a big engagement, you know, you really need as much momentum as you can. You know, even if you can run home and rebuild tier 1 here, you're still going to be in a bad spot. And both players got their tier 2 going down, so looks like just kind of safe play from both sides. Nobody wants to commit to that big attack. Attacking in Tooth and Tail is actually pretty difficult. It's very timing based, very experience based. You know, defender's advantage is so huge, and it's very hard to run away, so you can easily lose the game if you attack in a time frame where you really shouldn't have. Going up to double skunk warren here from Fleur. That's going to be very nice against this comp coming out. Like, yeah, the cams are here for Satoros, but those are most likely going to get caught up in that skunk gas anyways. And 4 skunks, I mean, just kind of like exponentially better than 2. Ooh, this is getting a little tense, man. Both players, though, are committing to quite a few farms. Trying to get that strong economy going. And a little bit of poking and prodding starting to happen here from both sides. The pigeons are a nice little addition. I don't hate 6. You know, I wouldn't go too much further than that. Look at all these moles coming out for Satoros. He knows it's about time to strike, and he's going to start moving in. One of the skunks actually goes down immediately from Floor. He's down to 3. So much skunk gas here covering both sides. And it looks like Floor is going to push through. Yeah, man, 4 skunks is huge. And like I said, even though there were cams for Satoros, you know, they are going to take that additional poison damage and die a little bit faster. So, oddly enough, the army value actually shows Satoros winning that fight, but it looks like a lot of his stuff got cleared up. I don't think he lost his skunks, which was nice. And he's going to go into Fox here, which is great if he can manage to hold on. And I think it's far enough in the game where that food investment is not as big of a deal. I always try to build my Fox too early, and I end up playing against players that are really good, and they just know, oh, I can kill you. I know this exactly. But no scout from Floor, and I do think this is the appropriate time for that tier 3 transition, because again, you know, missing 180 food from your army is not the end of the world, especially when you have so much tier 1 here. We're kind of far enough along in the game where 180 food represents a small percentage of what you've harvested overall. And it's very difficult for Floor to get in there and scout this. You know, it always feels bad when your opponent manages to hit that tier 3 transition before you. Getting out a lot of Falcons, which are good against 80% of the tier 3. But not necessarily good against the Fox. Fox will one-shot those Falcons from a safe distance. However, with so much tier 1 here from Floor, this Fox will most likely end up just, you know, targeting down tier 1, not hitting the value targets. It's always rough when you're piloting the Fox, because you can try to dive in and hit those things like the Falcons, but at the same time, that limits your capability to kite. And oftentimes, it's more important to keep the Fox alive, you know. But the tier 3 is here for Satoros, and he's going to get some free shots on, while Floor is down here saturating up this third base, or at least beginning to. Gonna try to get some big hits here. So far, I think it's just been tier 1 picked off. You might hit this pig here. Yeah, very good. Floor pulled back just a little bit too far. And Floor's gonna go in for the big engagement. Lots of tier 1 here for Satoros, but again, so much skunk gas going down, and Satoros has got to get that Fox out of there. Yeah, it looked like this commander was just a bit too far forward, maybe trying to target fire with the Fox. And that means that you're not in position to micro it back. And Floor going to run over this army. He's going to keep a lot of his Falcons alive. He did have to trade a lot for it. And this is where both players really need to sell down on some Warrens here to keep producing just whatever they can muster. Satoros really wants that other Fox, but I don't think it's going to happen here. I think he'd be better off just selling that Warren. I'm going to do a full 12 tonight. We're going hard. Hardcore mode. I've been getting a lot of replays then, so gotta get through them. Oh, we're a little bit even here, man. Satoros really wants that next Fox, man. Maybe he's gonna try to baby it a little more this time. Gonna pull back, realizing 360 food is invested in that tier 3. He just needs to buy time. Every second matters. Probably wants to go ahead and take a third base as well. Doesn't look like his Warrens are going to be draining down his coffers anymore. So we'll be able to take it. Going to be scouted immediately by Floor, though. Actually just waits. I'm not doing anything. Trying to act nonchalant, you know, whistling. And again, Satoros just going to give up this base. Really banking on, alright, if I can just take this engagement with my Fox, I might be able to win hard enough. Still got to be careful about all this skunk gas. He does have the pigeons here to help deal with that a little bit, but he's in starvation now. Going to go ahead and sell some stuff off to get the farms going. Floor has got this third base established. How many do I have in the bank? I think I've got, not including tonight, like 30 or 40 in the bank. But there are like a few people that have submitted a ton, you know. So I don't want that to discourage people to submit. Like, definitely submit me replays, especially if you haven't in a while. Because I try to get as many unique submitters as possible. You know, my ideal night is we see 24 different players on the feast. You know, 12 games, different people. And nice try here from Satoros, but I think he's gonna have to tap here shortly. Floor blowing up that line, killing that fox. Gonna take the victory. Man, this code I wrote to rename these replays is so huge. That was a big chore I had to do for so long. Now I just throw all the submissions in a folder, run a piece of code, bam, done. I do still, like, have to hand pick out my lineup, but that doesn't take very long. Alright, we actually have a lot of 2v2s that have been coming in lately, so I got a few on here. Let's hop into one. Hopefully they're not like the same 2v2s from different people. I'll try to... I have the memory of a goldfish, man, so if you guys notice it and I don't, let me know. The bottom right, we've got Gigorgorus the Third. I guess I'll call him Gorus, and Epicosity. Over on the left, we've got Ziggy and P-Boop. Oh man, I like Premium Bow's deck. I like all these decks. This is a hell of a map. It looks like they might have tweaked with the settings here. Is this like extra large, max grist mills? That's what it looks like to me. And it seems relatively balanced, right? Like if you look at it, yellow and blue, you know, expansion, expansion, and a third. Those are all pretty easy to take. And then over here we've got expansion, expansion, and a third. Pretty easy to take. And then these mills in the middle ground are a little bit up for grabs. Actually, you know, it does look like red and green have a bit of a map advantage, but not a lot, you know, because this base is right here as well. This is going to be rough, these three mills here in the middle ground. You know, there's a lot of defensive structures here, so... You know, like red and green could take these more forward mills on the high ground and really make it very difficult for yellow and blue to come in there with that. But Premium Bow trying to get some attacking done. He's got a couple quick lizards. Gonna pick off a pig. Gonna pick off some building barbed wire. Definitely gonna be happy with that that trade there. And Ziggy already getting in position. Yeah, I'm really worried about this high ground, to be honest. Like, these three mills in the middle might not even exist this game. Because, you know, if you're Ziggy, you get this base, you throw down an artillery cannon right there. Maybe put some barbed wire around it. See what's up. What are you going to do? Yeah, Epicossi realizes this is not good. Gonna try to build some moles, but not going to happen. Green and red knows what's up. They're there to defend, and Epicossi is really geared up nice and tight in his main base. I would almost like to see like a wolf or some ferrets behind that. Gora's gonna come up here and deny that artillery cannon. Yeah, and yellow and blue really know this positioning is so important. They don't want to just lose this area without putting up a fight, but so far, looks like red and green are gonna take it. And they actually won that so effectively. You know, they're going to push in for some more damage, and that's kind of the double-edged sword aspect of those moles, you know. You build them forward, and then you have to pack them up and go home. Again, that's a tempo hit. Primo did take a mill, but hasn't committed anything to it just yet. Who submitted this? I don't know. I don't know. I got a lot of 2v2s. Alright, yellow and blue. Really want to push this in. But the balloons and the turrets are on the way here. Where's that second turret? Oh, there it is. Kind of cloaked by the trees there. Yellow and blue are only on tier 1, though. Actually, Goris just committing to some skunks. Campfire up for premium. And again, this is just a nice staging point to throw down some more balloons. And these toads, these moles do a really good job against structures. Gonna come in here, but too many of those moles detonated on that turret, man. That turret got so much value. Or, I'm sorry, too many of the toads. They do break the defense. No, the one turret stands strong and pushes them back, but blue is working on an expansion. Yellow needs to follow suit here shortly. Ziggy is also, you know, farming up a little bit. But we've just got a bloodbath going on. These skunks helping out nicely. Really need to be a bit more careful with these toads. Oh, here come the lizards. Premium mode trying to avoid the toads. He does manage to avoid actually most of them. As Epicasi was, it looked like he was holding down the button and letting them kind of run by for a little bit there. This is just a bloodbath. It looks like green and red are starting to push forward, but these toad connections on all of Premium Bow's lizards are actually starting to gain some value. The 5-minute mark has come and gone. And Goris here really needs to get a second base up and running. Premium Bow's working on his. He's got that campfire. You know, Ziggy's got a couple farms over here as well. He's actually got several. It looks like he building up to 4. Yeah, Picassi is keeping it go. He's getting that wolf. That wolf could make a big difference here. We got 2 Ziggies in chat. I'm so confused. Epicasi getting a nice scout. Nobody's going for tier 3 yet besides Epicosity. Where is this warrant? It's right there. Do the enemies know about it? They do not. Premium Bow coming in here. Trying to punish Goris. He finds this base undefended. Just going to clean up shop. 2 farms already. Starting to hit the Warrens. Knocking out some additional pigs, but that's just going to trigger yellow and blue to go for it. This artillery cannon is getting some serious work, though. Trying to fight their way through just lines of turrets with this artillery in the back, with the balloons as well. And meanwhile, the lizards were just ravaging everything. They actually ended up taking down that tier 3 warren as well. Ziggy pushing forward. If he gets his base right here, he does go for it. And this is starting to look dire for yellow and blue. Goris just got ravaged by that lizard attack from Premium Bow. Epicosity's kind of ace up his sleeve, his wolf warren. Also getting picked off. Now no economy here left for yellow and blue. Green and red. Seems like they're probably just one attack away from ending this. Goris has got nothing left. Taps out. Epicosity's gonna tap as well. GG. All right, where are we at? That was match number 3. Let's go to match number 4. In the bottom right, we've got Solomon. His opponent to the left, Meek. Alright, Solomon rocking that double tier 2. Meanwhile, Meek, Squirrel, Toad, Pigeon. Pigeon, an interesting play here without the skunks or badgers. Is going to help out for the boar. It could make for some beefy pushes with the cams on the front lines, you know, tanking and getting healed back up by those pigeons. Man, 5-farm Warren actually coming down for Solomon. I don't blame him. The rush distance here is pretty short. Meek does scout it, goes for the 6-farm Warren. Should be just fine. Technically, that's the right approach. You know, you'll be able to hold it off, and you'll be just slightly ahead on economy. I don't think Solomon's going to commit very hard. He is even blocking the production on that Warren by queuing up farms. I think it's a very subtle thing that's a nice, strong play. Dude, I'm actually really worried, Solomon, about some overlap in games. So if you guys notice it, let me know. Meek actually selling off and going for the 8-farm cam. A little bit risky, but he might get away with it. You know, Solomon doesn't have a whole lot right now. You know, didn't clutch build additional Warrens as soon as possible. Yeah, just going to go for his own tier 2 here. Yeah, I got like a lot of replay submissions from a few people where they both submitted games against each other. I gave it a quick scan on like the file size. Oh, Meek actually going for double tier 2 here, selling off all of his tier 1 after he noticed that Solomon took a single tier 1, and this is not looking good for Meek. Kind of getting caught with his pants down here. Solomon not going to be able to push all the way in though. Gonna grab a pig. I think he had to cancel. Meek had to cancel some building Warrens. I'm gonna go ahead and go out. I think that was the right play from Solomon because the Chameleon was about to show up and does very nicely in small scrappy engagements like that. And Solomon just going up to straight 4 Falcon here. That works surprisingly well in small numbers. Like, you know, traditional theory crafting, it's like, well, with Falcons, you do need some cover for them. But if it's scrappy enough army sizes, you know, 4 Falcons will just burst out so much damage so fast, you know, that you can't quite get enough units together to really punish their squishiness. Solomon going for that 3 o'clock expansion, rather than this one a bit more aggressive. I do love maps like this where players have a couple of options on which expansions they want to go for. And here's the engagement. Target firing is a big deal, yeah, and Solomon managed to target down all the units that could hit air. It's a rough spot now for Meek. He does manage to escape with these chameleons, but another pig goes down. Meek is trying to get out that tier 3 Warren. And Solomon knows it. These poor cams just can't do anything. Great micro by Solomon. I think he's doing a really good job showing you how to get in there but not overextend. You know, coming home, we're going to let these Falcons heal up. And this boar from Meek here is not exactly what the doctor ordered, you know. I mean, tier 3 is always nice, but Falcons are kind of the counter to boar. But unfortunately for Meek, he's literally only got 2 units that can shoot up in his whole deck. Maybe the play was to just kind of go Squirrel Falcon with your opponent. But even if you do that, Solomon could mix in a couple skunks and punish your squirrel count. And here we go, 5 Falcons out on the kept trying to say field aboard at the same time. Out here, one of them goes down. And Solomon's going to back up for now. Meek actually taking a good engagement there. I think he lost a farm. He's going to catch this other Falcon on the way home. But it is going to... 2 Falcons, actually. Meek. Now's the time to try it. His commander going down, though. The boar is out of here, but there will be no microing for Meek, which allows Solomon to easily just target down that boar. But Meek might actually have enough to just push through. All of Solomon's units have fallen. Solomon desperately trying to reinforce. But since we're past that 5-minute mark, you know, even though Solomon's got a lot of economic damage on his opponent, you know, he's not in such great shape either. Oh man, we are in scrappy game mode right here. Good sells from Meek. Just gonna go right into tier 1. Only 2 farms left, both of which will go fallow soon. It's a tough decision there to be like, do I take a mill? Do I try to rebuild one of these farms that still has a lot of wheat on them? Or do I just try to muster together everything I can for one last hurrah? What'd you miss? The Ziggies are multiplying, man. We need a Ziggy army. The more Ziggies, the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. All right, Meek, pushing in. I don't know if Sullivan will be able to hold. He's gonna try one last little bit, delaying as long as possible. And Meek is in starvation. No, just go for it, man. You got this. You got plenty of time on starvation. He's gonna push in. Sullivan just trying to kite, trying to buy time. But his army does get cleaned up. Very scrappy, close game here, but Meek should end up winning this as long as he's cognizant of his starvation timer. Sees this other base over there. I don't know. Well, 30 seconds, though. 30 seconds is a very long time in Tooth and Tail. Oh, man. If Meek loses from starving, I don't think he will. I think he can take... Yeah, he should be able to take this down. And that mill's not going to build in time. That's still the desperation mill from Solomon. Oh, man. Oh, God. So close. That's not going to be that close. Oh, but does this mill get up? No. Oh, man. What if that mill got up, like, right in time, you know? Very, very close match there. All right, where are we at? Match number 5. Let's keep it rolling. Spawning on the right, we've got the Stretch. Opponent to left, this guy. All right, big weird map here. Definitely like it better for this guy. But it's not terrible for Stretch either. He does have access to plenty of mills. They're just not quite as conveniently placed, you know? I mean, this guy's got a nice little second and third here, basically in the pocket. I mean, there is a little way you can get through that water there. But I doubt it's something you're going to be able to sneak by your opponent without them noticing, you know. And then, or this guy could take these bases and really put the pressure on this low ground base. So, in a lot of different ways, I do like this map a considerable amount more for this guy. However, Stretch could, if he wanted, you know, start off with this base over here on the side. A little safer. Even could take this third down into 6 o'clock. You know, avoid this high ground outside of this base right here. And most of the time we only see games really on 2 or 3 mills regardless. So it might not even come into play, to be honest. Let's see what's up. 8 farm double from Stretch. 8 farm single into Skunks for this guy. Looks like Stretch maybe wants to expand. No. Let's get a little scouting done. Alright, this guy knows Stretch is missing a little money. Where's that money at? He's looking around. Looking around. He's going to find it. He's going to see this tier 1 over here and the expansion. Say, okay, that's where your extra 120 bucks was. And we might... Are we going to see... Okay, no, he's going to expand. I was like, are we going to see the traditional this guy swing here? And just because he took this mill doesn't mean he's not going to still go for it. I mean, it's a solid mid-game comp, either aggressively or defensively. I really like this deck composition overall for this guy, to be honest. Might have to steal this one. Throw it in my bag of tricks. Alright, Stretch wants to move in a little bit. He knows... He actually doesn't know about the tier 2, but he sees it now. Just coming in to apply some pressure. Trying to get that target fire on those Skunks, but this guy pulls the Skunks back just in time. And a nice little victory there for this guy. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier when I was like, you know, attacking in Tooth and Tail is very, very difficult. Right? I mean, this guy's got a considerable advantage at this point. You know, he kept both his skunks up. He traded more effectively. Stretch is like slightly ahead on farms, but not by a lot. And this counterattack from this guy might be devastating. He's got this core composition together. Gonna micro back the squirrels, try to let the moles and the skunks tank the front lines. But still trying to keep these skunks alive. Good job by this guy, tanking with those skunks as much as possible. But keeping both alive. Another very good engagement here. And you just pull back, build another farm. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't hate to see this guy like stay on this amount of warrens and just continue to apply pressure, and then in between engagements, you know, like sneak out a farm or two. One skunk does go down, but Stretch just really doesn't have a lot to contest with this comp here. You know, the skunk's doing a great job against everything that Stretch really has on the table. And it looks like this guy is starting to deliver critical damage. I think Stretch is just gonna have to tap from here. Gonna try to muster up what he can, but I think this is GG. Nice aggressive play here from this guy, really showing you how it's done. All right, another 2v2 match. Let's hop into it. Okay, this is not the same game, but it is the same players. So in the bottom, we've got Ziggy and P-Boop. Up top, we've got Gorus and Epicosity. Yeah, this is from like the same set of games, you know, probably the same night. It looks like, again, we see an extra large map with gristmills set to maximum money. Premium Bow, like what? I'm gonna mole rush you. Alright, I'm just kidding. Premium Bow baking some food. Only toads this time around. Seems to be memeing a bit. A lot of these decks are a little meme worthy. Epicosity's deck. Triple tier 3. Quite silly. Ziggy and Gorus both have, you know, more decent setups, but they're still a little silly here. Only 2 players out of the 4 even have squirrels. No lizards. Only 1 player with moles. This is what makes 2v2 so fun. Alright, might fast forward a little bit here as this game gets going. See when the decision making starts happening. Premium Bow just going straight up to ferrets, even hiding them over here. Meanwhile, Gorus gonna grab that second base. Just a piece or two of barbed wire here and there. I like that. That basically acts as like wards, you know. Can mess up some units if you're really not paying attention, but overall, just gonna let Premium Bow know he's under attack. That's a good one. I like that one a lot. And Gore's gonna go ahead and clean these up for free. Needs to be careful with the toads, though. A couple defensive turrets coming down from Premium Bow. Wants to get this siege going. Be really cool if we end up seeing some wolf buff ferrets here. But blue and yellow are both already expanding. So red and green need to be a little careful. Gorus is gonna go for it. Oh man, Toad Mole. I think I'm picking up what he's putting down. Was he just gonna try to YOLO the mill? You know what I'm saying? I think you want a few more toads. Like at least 6. 9 would be even better. Just sneak them in here from the back and just blow this up. I'd be so happy if we saw that. A little bit of a engagement coming down here in the middle. As Epicosity is trying to fight for some positioning, but gets caught out a little bit in a 1v2, losing a lot of units on the turnaround there, on the retreat. Gorus is gonna slam in from the side. Those toads get some decent connections. And green and red are gonna be pushed back for now. One ferret falls, the other ferret's so close it does go down. Epicosity paid for the paid off there for the greed. But this area is getting more and more fortified. we saw red and green in that previous 2v2 utilize a lot of defense to their advantage, and once this artillery cannon goes down, man, it's very hard to deal with. And just so much tier 1 coming out from blue and yellow. Yeah, I think they really need to just attack in where the defense isn't, you know. This is so much tier 1, even setting up. Goris set up a bunch of mines to try to defend against any kind of counterattack. Yellow and blue gonna take a nice engagement, fighting mostly outside of the defenses here. And these moles are gonna get on top, only kill 1 turret though. These squirrels moving in really want to target fire down this artillery cannon, but just can't quite break it. All the turrets go down though. Oh man, it's so close, it does end up falling to the hero mole there from Goris. One of the ferrets as well. So far, man, I am kind of liking this for yellow and blue. These engagements seem like they've been going okay. They've got the better economy up and running. Premium Bow does have an expansion. Ziggy is trying to work on one. But Epicosity, again, trying to get into that wolf. That wolf buff is awesome, even if it is just on some squirrels. Agora's gonna go for it again. Toad Mole here. Trying to blast their way through the front. But these Falcons here from Ziggy putting out a lot of work. They do get target fire down, and yellow and blue smashing forward. Premium Bow is his own wolf here, though. But he doesn't have supporting units. He tried to get into double tier 3 on top of ferrets. And I think he had some Warrens up there on the high ground. Dude, I got a couple replays from Amistria, like, I want to say like 2 weeks ago or something. She comes in from time to time. I think that's how it is for most players, you know. There's definitely the guys who stay active and are getting after it all the time, and you know, definitely tip of the hat to y'all. But you know, a lot of players come and go. You know, play a game for a little while, take a little break, come back a little later. It's pretty common. All right, Wolf is out here for P-Boop and Epicosity. Again, just really trying to get this area stationed. A lot of defense. Here comes a buffed up ferret. Starting to poke and prod at these tier 1. 3 kills. Need to get that. Yeah, there you go. Boom, boom. Couple more tier 1s starting to fall here. And I wonder if yellow and blue are ever going to try to like hit around the edges, you know, like the fringe base. Oh man, here comes that buffed up Falcon. Trying to eke their way back into this game, you know. One free tier 1 kill at a time. This is so much tier 1, dude. Goris, just pure mole here. Fox is almost up. This wolf just waiting to buff a bunch of pigs. But I think if you're Epicosity, you know, you've invested in this double tier 3. You really might want to wait until you have those units to help out this fight, but no, they're going to go in. These moles tanking a lot of that damage up front, but 4 turrets worth of DPS, man. Station like that, it's so hard to break. Here comes a buffed up Fox. Wolf Fox, really fun combo. Oh, needs to be careful. It's a good bit of value right out of the gate. The Premium Bow is staying in this nicely with a healthy economy, getting up to double owls, and if you can manage to get up to 2, 3, 4 owls, you know, that amount of mice just starts getting silly when it comes to value. Some artillery cannon could help, but Goris really needs another base, I feel like. Oh, I guess he could build some more farms on the one he's got there. Yeah, needs to get these farms going. And Premium Bow just staying diligent with this poking. Very, very important with ferrets. You really want to eke out as much value in between fights as you can. Oh, and these mice are starting to break through. These mice are the way that Premium Bow can lead his team to victory. You know, once you start getting, yeah, like up to like 3, it just gets ridiculous. But Epicosity going for the double badger. This game is getting crazy. I am a little bit worried about economies though. Epicosity does have a very nice, healthy economy here, and needs to kind of create that balancing act of having the fox up front to deny the ferrets, but at the same time, not letting the fox take a bunch of damage from the mice. And this pure mole strategy, man, it's definitely meme-worthy, but I don't know if it's working out here. These moles just suffering a lot of losses over and over. And this is starting to become that count of mice that's just too high. The badger, really good at cleaning this kind of thing up. But still, I'm worried about the DPS from all these turrets. And Epicosity getting some nice shots off with the fox, but doesn't quite take care of those high-value units. Badger did fall, but a few more on the way. And again, man, it's that owl count that is giving this game inevitability. You know, these owls are just going to continue to come in here and trade over and over for free. And now is when that damage is starting to rally up. Looks like Goris is thinking about tapping out of this one. He was off to a strong start, but just couldn't get the economy together. The pure moles just wasn't quite enough. Look at all this tier 3 from Epicosity, man. They just gotta swing through to the exposed underbelly. Badger number 4 on the way. How's Ziggy doing? Yeah, Ziggy has fallen behind a little bit as well, but he does have a handful of squirrels trying to get his economy back up. Look at all these mice, man. It's too many mice. Nobody should have that many mice. Even an artillery going down. That's what Ziggy was saving up for. Alright, let's see the action. Premium Bow selling off some defense on the side. Building a mill. Epicosity can no longer boast that he's got the best economy in the game, though. Even go for double woof. And we're in a little bit of a lull. This game is starting to get pretty long here. Going on almost 12 minutes. Four bases being taken, and yellow and blue are going to start their push. But yeah, I think this is smart. I think you just kind of try to walk around that fortified position, but at the same time, you know, there's no turning back once you make this decision. It looks like the Badgers have plenty of DPS to deal with these mice. It got a little bit close there, but there's a lot of pigeons here to heal. The mice still gaining some value, though, from the moles dying. And red and green are just doing a good job of starting to take over all the mills on the map. Ziggy almost gets knocked out, but yellow and blue decide to pull back up here. Oh, this is close. You know, Epicosity's army is insane. But look at all these mice. You know, I think it's tough. I was going to say maybe Premium Bow should try to send the mice in, you know, to deal damage to the mains, but you don't want to be caught without mice, you know, and dying to big attack. Again, some of these tier 3 getting low. Actually, the fox went down there. But the fox is not super important anymore in this composition. It's really just all about these badgers getting buffed up and healed. And Epicosity is starting to rampage through. He's bold, man. He's going to try to come right onto this defense, say enough is enough, but no, pulls him back. All 3 badgers are still alive. One wolf went down, but the defensive position has been pierced. These owls are exposed, but Premium Bow decides this is a losing fight here and is going to go for the counterattack. Going to try to hit the exposed innards of his opponent. And blue is going to pull back. And Epicosity doesn't really need all these warrens anymore. If he loses them, it's not the biggest deal. But he does need gristmills. He does have the gristmill over to the side, though, so he's not going to get knocked out. Premium Bow just desperately trying to base race. Yellow did get eliminated, but Premium Bow loses everything. Ziggy doesn't have very much either. Just desperately trying to build some squirrels. Epicosity. Dude, he's got this invincible army put together, man. But he is starving. Gonna have to sell off, like, some pigeons or something. Rebuild a farm. And just try to sweep this map. This is rough. Okay, there's no moles. So you can't do anything like just build some mole warrens over here and go for it. But Epicossi has no time to waste. If he's going to win this game, he's got to start cleaning out red and green's territory. And going to start with this fringe base. Not really needed. This big money target, though, is this wolf. This wolf is very important to Premium Bow. It goes down. It looks like Premium Bow is just trying to distract, however, as Ziggy marches to the north with a handful of squirrels. Gonna get that first mill. Premium Bow has some money in the bank, is basically just trying to play whack-a-mole with these grist mills. I don't know if that one's gonna make in time. It's gonna be close. Premium Bow might get knocked out right here. Yeah, these buffed up badgers should knock him out, and Premium Bow sent to the kitchens. Alright, Epicosity is moving in to knock out that last mill. Nice try from Ziggy, trying to win the game, but that is it. We see a premium loss here. Very rare indeed. A really cool game. Thanks for the submission. Okay, we still have 6 more to go. I need a quick minute break, though, so I'll be back in just a sec, and we'll keep going. Alright, I am back. Thanks again for everybody tuning in. Always fun to hang out with y'all on Friday nights. Don't forget, guys, Mochaccino's Tooth and Tail Championship Season 2 coming up soon. Starting on Monday. Sign up by Monday if you haven't already. And yeah, let's keep going. Match number 7 here. Spotting on the right, we've got Protocam. His opponent to the left, Blue Coon. Alright, some really cool deck compositions here. Let's see how they wind up pulling this one off. Both players with snakes. Both players with lizards. Protocam looking like he wants to do a bit of a mole rush. And actually, oh no, he's just going to build it a little bit further forward. He actually builds it right in vision range of Blue Coon, so knows it's coming. Gonna build a warren there. Gonna force the sell? No? He's just gonna try to go straight for the warren. He forces the sell in the warren. Good handling by Blue Coon. And yeah, not a lot of difference here. Looks like, what, technically 3 food ahead for Blue Coon, I suppose? No harm, no foul. Protocam looking like he wants to try again. That is not going to work. Looks like this mole will force a sell on a pig again. But it does take a lot of damage, so Protocam loses 15 food to delay that pig. And we're gonna go into a little bit more steady standard stuff from here. Protocam just building up that Squizzard. Actually, Blue Coon's main base is a little bit vulnerable to some lizard shenanigans here. There's this cabin in the way, which can be a little bit annoying. You know, get some shots off, but I can see Protocam trying to sneak in that way with some lizards, something like that. Blue Coon gonna go right up to those chameleons, though. So far, this game has been very not greedy. That's one way to put it. Both players really taking their time, which is interesting because the map is so large. Now, a lot of times you'll be more inclined to do something a little bit risky on a larger map, but there's this road that is like connecting both main bases, so that makes the rush distance a little bit smaller than it actually appears. And Protocam is starting to macro up. 3 farms down on that second base. Actually just going for 2. Maybe for a tier 2 as well. Or no, some moles. Maybe he feels like he might get attacked. And yeah, I do like this kind of opening where you build a whole bunch of tier 1, but also kind of go hard with farm production. I think you can get in trouble when you try to do, you know, a lot of farms and like a tier 2, you know. Here comes Blue Coon. This is a hell of an army. Sometimes it can be difficult for chameleons to attack in. You know, since they're melee, they can end up taking a lot of damage. So I think it's really, if Protocam's going to get baited out of the main, but no, Blue Coon's going to rush right in. And yeah, those cams do fall pretty quickly because of all the support fire there from the pigs. So Protocam cleans that up very nicely and is in a phenomenal spot this game. He's gonna grab that campfire. Most likely to just kind of keep spending money. But also it makes for an okay spot to retreat to and heal up a little bit. Getting a little bit of value there. Yeah, Proto just decides, alright, I'm not gonna be able to hold this position. Sells that campfire, goes home. Did kill another cam though. But the farm lead isn't crazy, but this is a little crazy. Proto is going to try to leverage these few attacks into a tier 3. Sometimes, you know, after your attack fails and you get counterattacked, you're a little bit less likely to stay aggressive. So Protocam's going to bank on that and hope he can sneak out of tier 3. Really good scouting here from Blue Coon, though. That was smart pathing to kind of come up this way and around rather than try to go right through the army. So if he went right through the army, he probably would have died before he saw that warren. But now he sees that owl warren on the way. And is going to go ahead and just macro up. He knows he's got a little less than 2 minutes. So he's got some time to get these farms up and running. He can slam down a bunch of extra tier 1. Even a couple turrets could be nice here to help thwart the mice cost effectively. So cool. I mean, Protocam is going to get out that quick owl. Owl's not exactly the unit you want to rush as far as tier 3 goes. Owl's kind of that like inevitability unit where it's like, alright, once I get enough of these things, I'm just going to win. But a quick owl definitely can work. Going for that wolf too, Proto, the madman. Did Blue Coon scout that second tier 3? He doesn't see it yet. Even grabbing a third base. So Protocam's response to this is just to try to get so much money You know, even if these owls bludgeon his army a little bit, it's okay because I've got the better income. But I think he needs a little more. Like, I think he needs some turrets, maybe a couple extra chameleons. You know, the 2 chameleons might end up getting swarmed, but once you got like 4 or 6 of them, they can deal with those mice pretty effectively and live. Here we go, Blue Coon's moving out. The owl is here, the mice are on the field, but Protocam doesn't have a whole lot besides that since he did invest in that wolf. He invested in some snakes that aren't here to fight yet. And this is what Blue Coon needed, a nice victory here. We're gonna try to hit from here. Can't quite do it. He could with his fox if he had it. Oh! Yeah, he finds the tile. The one tile. Doesn't quite work though. A for effort. F for effort. Alright, Protocam's got this owl snake composition together. He's looking to move in. He wants to let this owl take a couple hits, but get it back in time. And one snake goes down. Blue Coon just trying to swarm, man. Trying to just build a silly amount of squirrels to just overwhelm this. And he keeps denying this third base, which could be the path to victory. I'd love to see him grab this campfire so he doesn't have to squeeze his units through this choke point in order to get the healing. But the choke point will come in handy if Protocam tries to break through here. Yeah, only like 1 squirrel died there to those mice. And I think Blue Coon's got a nice path to victory if he can just slowly sneak out a couple farms on that third and keep denying the third base over and over of Protocam. Another big engagement coming in here. Is the Wolf Owl going to be enough? This Wolf just doesn't have a lot of key units to try to buff up. Definitely buffing up tier 1 can matter, and that gristmill tanking definitely did help. Was worth the 30 food that he lost. But Protocam just doesn't have enough yet to support this army. And his second base is slowly going to start mining out. He's got that second owl on the way. Blue Coon is still just trying to leverage a victory here with pure squirrel. He's got some more chameleons coming out. But his game plan is just to continue to apply pressure here on this third base and slowly win by having a third while his opponent doesn't. But I don't think he's got enough on his third base yet. He's only got the 1 farm, right? So it's not the biggest deal that he's got a third base and Protocam doesn't. But Protocam really just can't handle losing these engagements over and over like this. Even the wolf going down as well, that might be a tap from Proto. Maybe he's really going to hope for this second owl. I think you sell off the wolf here. 2 owls are a lot better than 1. So maybe now he'll have more mice to punish this pure squirrel army from Blue Coon. Because on paper, these mice should really be getting a lot of value against the squirrels, but Blue Coon's just got overwhelming numbers. So this is Protocam's chance to victory. He's got the 2 owls. As long as he just kind of runs in, runs back, tries to trade with these mice. I think he's overcommitting here. He feels like he's got it. He's going to keep these owls up here on the front. They're doing a lot of tanking. One of the cams goes down. This is actually really close. Protocam's starting to break through. More and more mice spawning and running immediately into the fray. And this is where these mice are absolutely huge in these scrappy engagements. A couple squirrels versus a couple mice, those are very unfavorable here for Blue Coon. And Protocam's done it. He's breaking through. I think he's going to take the win. Blue Coon's just kind of looking around, seeing what happened in this game. I think Blue Coon could have won this, but I think maybe he needed to sell those cams and really saturate up this third base for that kind of approach to work. All right. Oh yeah, Blue Coon was thinking about trying to hold on, but decides to tap. You actually lost your replay premium bow. Alright guys, we still got 5 left. So, plenty more matches here. I know. I know, you never lose the replays you submit. Alright, apologize, doing a few back end things. Alright. I guess there are 3 Airloo games. Yeah, but see, the thing is, they're Airloo games against from different people submitted, right? You're starting to get the gentleman curse, you know, where people will beat you and then they'll get excited and be like, "Oh, I want to submit that replay." Yeah, because you're on the ladder all the time. Anyways, let's see. Let's see, match number 8. That was a big thing for a really long time on the show. Like when Gentleman was just like by far the top player. You know, you'd win a game against them and then you'd submit it. At the bottom right, we've got Airloo. Up top, we've got Ziggy. So it's kind of funny because it was like if you watch the show, you know, it's a ton of replays of the Gentleman losing, right? But at the same time, he's like the best player. But obviously it was not a relevant sample size, or what's the word I'm looking for? I'm blanking on it. Like representative. There we go. Representative sample. All right, so we've got Airloo in bottom right, Ziggy up top. If I didn't already introduce the players, Airloo with a little bit of wonkiness here. A little bit of a wonky deck. I like it. Changing things up. Ziggy. All right, Ziggy. All right, I'm Team Ziggy now, man. Team Ziggy, 6 farm cam. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Oh my god. And Airloo doesn't have moles. I think if you have moles, you just build a couple moles and kill that, right? And Ziggy's got moles. He's following up his ridiculous cam timing with mole aggression here. Airloo is up to 8 farms, but this mole will kill this Warren. Airloo really just trying to get a squirrel spawn out of it. Decides it's worth it to lose that Warren to get the squirrel out. Does kill a mole, but Ziggy gets a nice start. However, Ziggy is behind a little bit on economy. He gets the 1 cam out, though. And the cam rush is kind of interesting, because cams, as good as they are in like big open engagements, they're not the best units in the world to like push into something like this. Like we saw in the last game with Blue Coon and Protocam. You know, Blue Coon had a really great army on paper, but the engagement just did not go his way. You know, these cams being melee units, they run up here into the front. They take a lot of pig damage, and those little pistols can add up. As opposed to like a snake, a rush snake, you know. The rush snake can come in here and be a real problem, start to poke, start to gain a bunch of value. We used to see Mishi do that kind of thing a lot. But Ziggy can leverage these chameleons into an advantageous position on the map. And that's exactly what he's going for here. He's just going to try to contain in. No, he decides, all right, maybe I'm getting a little too big for my britches here. I just realized Ziggy doesn't have squirrels. Or lizards. He's just got moles. Balloon coming down for Airloo, but that balloon's only going to protect the right flank. It's not going to quite help out in this engagement. Big attack coming in. These moles are doing a nice job soaking damage for the cams, but Airloo does target down the cams very nicely. Loses a Warren, but holds this off. And, you know, that's what I was talking about a little bit with cams on offense, especially in the first base. I feel like it's not as big of a deal in the second base, you know? Like, imagine Ziggy was building this right here, and Airloo had chameleons. You know, I think they do a better job there. Dude, take a level in Warlock, man. What's like? I was reading up on like the most OP D&D builds one time. I think somebody was trying to leverage Paladin Warlock as like one of the strongest comps. I don't really know how that works. We actually don't have much multi-classing in my games. Okay, so it looks like Airlu managed to get out of this weird early game, has gotten to second base, has thrown up a couple balloons, thinking that Ziggy, and rightfully so, is really going to try to win this on the back of a bunch of Tier 2. These balloons, especially with some target fire, can devastate chameleons. Ziggy taking a sneaky 6 o'clock. And Ziggy does have those owls. We've seen owls do pretty good tonight. But the question is, when and where can Ziggy actually get one? And Airlu taking some sneaky bases as well. This is turning into a very weird game. I like it. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, there's the owl. Where is it at? Where is it at? Is it back there? Yeah, that's a good spot for it. Not the best spot in the world. Like, that should be scouted. But, yeah, that's the best thing that Ziggy's gotten. So far, Airlu hasn't seen it. Or, I'm sorry, Ziggy, yeah, Airlu hasn't seen it. I like this one mine from Airlu, too. Just kind of keeping track of how many farms are being built down there. And Airlu's going to go for it. He's going to push in. No, he actually decides to back out. That might have worked out really well for him. He does have some money wrapped up in these balloons, but you know, Ziggy's invested in this owl that's not out yet. It's just gonna permanently be blocked if Airlu keeps the heat on, because all that money will go into remaking the units that Ziggy already has. But no, Ziggy looks like he sold off a mole warren there. Let's see, Airlu is just kind of, you know, flexing a little bit, not hard committing, kind of poking and prodding, trying to wait for the right time, and decides to go for it. Gets these skunks up here on the high ground out front, but only picks off some warrens and backs out. Ziggy's owl is almost here, but again, one owl. Not the biggest impact right when it comes out compared to some other Tier 3 units. The Airlu knows the owl is here. Probably a little upset that he hesitated, and Ziggy comes in with the cams. Ooh, the skunk barely makes it out. Economies are pretty even. Ziggy's gonna try to find a way to get into Airlu's base without having to deal with these balloons. Ziggy actually really doesn't have a lot that can even attack the balloons. He's only got the snakes and falcons, and out of those, he's only got one on the board. So Ziggy's just gonna straight up attack where Airlu's defense is not oftentimes a smart move. However, can be risky. He's very committed now. He's gotta win this fight. But his ground game is very strong here. You know, these cams are actually more of a DPS unit than a tanky unit, even though they have a good health pool as well. But it's really the DPS that you're after, and these moles and mice here to buffer, you know, keep these cams alive is big. But again, man, Ziggy just can't deal with these balloons here. And Airlu's trying to hold on for desperation. Are 2 balloons gonna be enough? He needs to target down the Falcon. The Falcon is dead. But still, these mice manage to come through and rummage the base and get some damage done. Lots of pigs going down. This is looking real bad. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. My players aren't super min-maxy. They just make silly things. So I haven't really had to deal with that much in my campaign. It's kind of funny, we started a side group for when like the main group can't meet up, because it's gotten to like 7 people, so it's a little bit hard to deal with, especially with the Backstreet Boy reunion tour. Oh god, that's a Game Grumps bit. I guess it's like really bad on YouTube to mention COVID, right? So, like, if you mention, I don't care, because, you know, whatever, I don't get a lot of hits anyways, but, like, if you mention COVID in your video, I guess YouTube, like, I don't know, they do something to you that's bad, right? So, like, my wife watches Game Grumps a lot, so they started saying, instead of COVID, Backstreet Boys reunion tour, like, oh, I know, you gotta be safe out there, man, with the Backstreet Boys reunion tour going on. Airlu scouts the bottom, sees Ziggy's got some farms down there. But Ziggy is starting to get up to some Falcons. This is a weird game, man, but I think this stranglehold that Ziggy's got going on will eventually work. You know, Airlu really just doesn't have anything to deal with these owls. Like, he's got up to 4 skunks, which is really good. But I think you need a little more meat on the front line. Some cams, some moles. You know, something like snake or falcon would be ideal. Couple pigeons, though, keeping these skunks alive. And a little fledgling base from Airlu. Does Ziggy not know about it? He actually doesn't. It's kind of hilarious. It's like, it's right there. Go get it. Alright, man. Airlu going for it. Gonna try to get in here while Ziggy's army is away, but he doesn't have very many units that can actually hit buildings. And Ziggy's gonna use this opportunity to run in. He just needs to use his falcons to target down these balloons. And this time around, it looks like he will be able to do it. Ziggy blasting through. Oh yeah, but like, yeah. So, my side campaign, we're playing Descent into Avernus module. My main campaign is a homebrew, right? So that takes a lot of effort, but a smaller group of us, just 4 of us, are doing a side campaign when the group of 7 can't meet up. And Descent into Avernus is, like, super serious. You know, you basically end up going to hell and, like, fighting through the different layers of hell and stuff. And my party shows up as a mouse folk fighter, right? Little mouse boy. 2 tabaxis, not 1, but 2 cat people. 1 a cleric, 1 a rogue. Actually going to become a swashbuckler, which is awesome. That's my wife's character. She actually found a really cool, like, tabaxi pirate mini for it. And then what's my final player, you ask? A mushroom person. A Myconid. A mushroom druid. So it's a mouse, 2 cats, and a mushroom. That's my party. Super serious. Match number 9. Okay, in the bottom we've got Solomon. And to the top right we've got Meek. So I think what I tried to do, I think this is a match that Solomon submitted, right? Because I thought it would be funny because I got a bunch of games from both of them. I was like, why don't we do one that Meek submitted and one that Solomon submitted? And that doesn't necessarily mean Solomon wins, you know. A lot of times people do submit losses. Oh, I always give a tip of the hat to those who submit losses. Solomon trying to slow down these moles with barbed wire. Kind of interesting. We don't normally see this. And the moles are, in theory, good against barbed wire, but it's going to slow them down. Like, that wasn't bad, right? Like, traded a piece of wire for a mole. Did still have to sell the farm, though. But pretty good hold there from Solomon. Actually going to keep a little bit of barbed wire around. Maybe a little bit afraid of a counterattack. Knows that he's going right up to 8 farms. And sure enough, Meek is following this up with a 5-farm double. And Meek is building more moles. But I don't think Solomon's ever got the chance to really go back here and see what Meek is up to. You might think Meek went for 8 farms. And this can be quite annoying when you have to play whack-a-mole with your Warrens here. But nicely done by Solomon. He does manage to get one Warren up, but here come the lizards. Ravage that one Warren immediately. The second Warren goes down as well. More and more lizards pushing through, and a ton of damage coming out here from Meek. But keep in mind, Meek is still on a small economy. Trying to get out these barbed wire. Don't quite get out in time. Has to sell that farm again, and this just might be too much damage. Meek busting through. Solomon will clean this up. Oh my god, keeps that one farm alive. That's actually really huge. And he saves this Warren. Now he's got 2 Warrens out. Oh man, Meek really wants this last pig and doesn't get it. That little bit of extra damage for the barbed wire. That pig is so close. That Warren is so close. But Solomon holds it off. Dude, this is a game right here. Good grief. Yeah, and Solomon still hasn't got a chance to scout, but can't really blame him. You know, I don't think it's... I think he's done the correct thing so far. Finally comes in and gets to check around, realizes, all right, Meek is slowed down for the time being. Really crazy opening, to be honest. You know, it's kind of hard to tell who came out on top. But Solomon's got a lot of units right here, right now. And will be able to attack into these Warrens. While Meek's got a little bit of a weak spot. You know, since he did sell off those Lizard Warrens and try to transition into more and more farms, this has given Solomon a little bit of an opportunity to come in here. 1 Warren's gone down already. A 2nd Warren as well. Solomon's going to pull back with this last squirrel still alive. Dude, this is a crazy game. I think Solomon's got like a slight edge, but not a lot. I still think it's actually pretty even, but Meek is behind in tempo. You know, he just can't manage to get these Warrens out. I think he's got like around similar like overall food. Now Solomon's definitely pulling ahead. You know, Solomon's doing a really good job of just not letting Meek get the time to get up, you know, 6, 7 squirrels that he needs to defend. And Solomon gets pushed back that time. And decides to buffer his early lead into some chameleons. You know, Meek really not going to be able to do anything about that. Oof. Oof. Oh, is that the spot? That's the spot. Yeah, I know you're talking about, Solomon. That's always rough. Alright, Meek's going to try to follow this up with a mole squirrel push. But is it going to work? He is going to boast 5 additional moles over the army of Solomon. This chameleon's almost here, though. He's trying to get the chameleon Warren, and he does. But at what cost? Another Warren goes down as well. But again, he's going to have to pack up these moles and run away, which is a big tempo hit, you know. Because now, like, Meek's still got plenty of food, but he just doesn't have anything on the table. And Solomon has an opportunity to come in here and counter since he still has a standing army. Dude, this is a hell of a game. I really like this. Alright, both players starting to position here. 5-minute mark has come and gone, so Solomon is trying to get that second base up and running. Meek gonna try to push through, but Solomon's just got too many squirrels here. Does lose a Warren, but Meek's gonna have to go home. And Solomon's economy is just so much better. Like, somehow Meek is just farmed out a little bit faster. And this is just gonna be it, I think. I think Solomon pushes through. Knocking out those last couple pigs. Meek's only got 1 left. A few more squirrels rallying up. Gonna be able to push Solomon back, but the proof is in the pudding here. I don't think that applied, but it was fun to say. It's fun to say. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. Very good game. Very, very good game. That's an S+. S+ tier. For sure. Alright. 3rd 2v2 of the night, guys. I had a lot of 2v2 submissions, so let's see what we got going on in this one. Alright, on the right, we've got T-Dink and Keen. Keen. Well, on the left, we've got CPU 0 and Meek. CPU 0 is probably not a CPU. I think that's James? Who plays as CPU 0? It's James, right? We had a premium 2v2 earlier. Oh yeah, you guys are 1 for 1, man. Yeah, we'll have to have the tiebreaker next episode. But again, I think you guys both submitted a bunch of matches to me. I'm pretty sure it's James, right? Does anybody know? Pretty sure. This is a wacky deck. Just Toads. Just Toads and some defense with Badger. An actual bot. Let's see. I mean, the bot went for 8 farms. It didn't look like it started with extra farms. Obscution plays the CPU 1. That's not a bot. That's a player. I think bots are dumber than this. If it was a bot, it would be like rallying the Toads over. Old T-Dink up top, though. 12 o'clock base, getting down some farms. Has it been scouted? It has not been scouted yet. A little bit of more of a macro game here. Everybody just kind of gearing up. It's a very risky spot for an expansion, but if T-Dink gets away with it... Okay, wait. Is that a bot? Because now they're just rallying 3 Toads. Ugh! 3 Toads doesn't quite get it done. You know now. No, that's not a bot. No. I guess you need 4 Toads. Man, that'd be sick if 3 Toads killed a pig. Maybe that'd be too strong. I don't know. We don't see a lot of Toads nowadays, though. Dude, I don't think it's a bot. Is it a bot? I feel bad. Like, I'm just trying to figure out if that's a bot or not. Not really casting this game. Blue finds a 12 o'clock base. Ends up killing a couple farms. A couple of these Toads coming in. Get some cams. This base is under some serious fire. However, sneaky cams from Ken here. Get the base down to half health. Nice little harassment here. I love seeing stuff like this. Needs to get this cam out of there though to heal up. And up top, Meek attacking in. Why would I play with bots? All right, Meek says it's bot. I believe him. It is his game. T-Dink actually starting to apply some pressure in. These Toads trying to get it done. Yes, absolutely. I believe Meek over you. Alright, Meek. Taking it down. Starting to get some territory up top. This Badger is out from Ken, though. This map is kind of crazy. Like, we have some attacks going up top. We got some stuff going down here on the bottom. The Badger pushing forward. We're going to knock out this base. Don't time out people for no reason. Premium bow. Come on now. Alright. Badger knocks out the base. But CPU 0, with all the Toads coming in to the side. Got a couple cams here. Where is the commander? Oh, way back there. I don't know, man. It looks like Ken is going to win this. Meek doing a good job. Doing what he can. This might be it. This badger is here. It is clearing out. It's got a lot of pigeons to support. And CPU 0 does manage to take this 12 o'clock position. But getting attacked in. Oh, man. The battery almost goes down, but manages to get out. 5 HP. Wait, we got stuff going on over here as well. Looks like the expansion attempt for Meek was shut down. Meek trying to kill this bot. 3 HP, 2 HP. Or bot, lol, badger rather. Oh my god. There's stuff going on everywhere here. Alright, T-Dink and Ken, man. They're holding on for now. This badger coming in for it. I don't even know what to say this game. What is going on? We got a chameleon and a whole bunch of pigeons trying to come onto these warrens. Meanwhile, Meek going all in up top. this bot badger trying to make it happen, starving. Got a badger to dream, runs into the cam. Actually doesn't die though. Is gonna die now to the cam, maybe. Dude, this badger. Oh, there it is. Alright. Alright, I don't know, man. I think Meek can do it. Only got a couple snakes left. Had a whole bunch of warrens down here, but they were taken out. Ken's been doing a pretty good job of attacking the flanks, attacking the areas where you wouldn't expect. CPU is starving and trying to get out those toads, but still, this badger, there is no answer for it. Meek trying to get out some snakes. Pushing forward. Oh my gosh. Nice attempt by Ken, or by Meek. But I think Ken is going to carry the team to victory. This badger does manage to fall. But there's still the chameleons here. Meek rebuilding what he can. Go full snake. Solid snake. Taking it down, T-Dink. Holding on for dear life here. Got a farm, got a few squirrels. Meek finally taps out. That is it. That was a crazy match. Could not figure out if that was a bot or a real player for quite some time. But as the match went on, it did get pretty apparent. Alright, we got a couple more for you here tonight. Should be some good ones to end out on. Let's hop into match number 11. Alright, in the bottom we've got Kalaru. Rocking that fox style. Up in the left, Kerpa. With a lot of tier 1. This is going to be a fun match here. Boar Fox. Interesting combo. I like it. I don't think the two synergize super well. I guess in theory, you know, maybe they do, right? Like the boar's big and tanky, can deal a lot of AoE damage, can deal with some of the cheaper units or like mice, and also deal with structures. While the fox hangs back, you know, gets microed and tries to deal with the more juicy, valuable units. So 5 farm, Lizard Rush coming out here from Kalaru. Kerpa sees it, responds accordingly. Good map to try it on, I think. There's a couple different ways to get into Kerpa's base. Rush distances are pretty short, but I think Kerpa should be fine. Maybe Kalaru's going to wait for 4 lizards. That's typically a good amount. And they're just going to see what he can get done here. Probably going to pick off a corner pig, to be honest. You know, Kerpa's only got a couple squirrels. They're not quite in the right position here. Yeah, very nicely done. Only loses a lizard. Might lose another one on the way out. No, he manages to get him home. So Kerpa's not really even going to have a window to counterattack here. And Kerpa's just going to go up to that third tier 1. Maybe looking to put on some counter aggression, but Kalaru's kind of doing the same thing. You know, a lot of times after this rush, you can try to attack in when your opponent's vulnerable because they committed to going up to 8 farms. You still built a couple additional warrants. And I love this. I love the Squizzer being mixed in. Yeah, actually just going to transition out. So, really cool opening plays here from Kalaru. Doesn't have that 8th farm yet. He's kind of debating Kerpa to build a bunch of squirrels here for this early defense, kind of threatening, you know, hey, I might come in and attack with a bunch of lizards. You need to be in position. You need to be ready. And then a quick transition into Skunk, which obviously does quite nicely against squirrels. Kerpa building up on 6 toads here. You know, with the small amount of lizards here from Kalaru, Kerpa's going to want to try to prioritize landing those toad hits on the skunks, taking full advantage of that single target damage, as well as getting some of that AoE on the side for whatever units are standing close to the skunks. Yeah, a little bit of a lull here. I like this kind of action-packed early game, and then we're trying to kind of transitioning a bit into a mid-game. Kerpa trying to get into his cams, but they are a little bit late right now. Cams would be nice. But Kalaru going to take this engagement. Kerpa's toads were not all ready to roll in the front, and most of them are not going to get the connections they want. However, Kalaru does lose all of his tier 1, is forced to go home, but deals a good amount of damage to Kerpa there, and keeps the skunks alive. That was what was the most important. And he's going to continue on the pressure. He's got 1 skunk at about half HP, so needs to be a little bit careful. It does actually go down, and these toads are just not getting their connections. One of them does connect there, but not super impactful. And Kerpa's going to try to push it. He wants to chase down this other skunk. It would be absolutely huge if he can get that kill. A decent connection there on the toad. But Kalaru is going to make it home safely. So that follow-up attack went a little bit better there for Kerpa. And maybe he's thinking about getting aggressive. Yeah, even building in some moles. And this is the perfect target here. This is what the chameleons want to attack into, these fledgling second bases. And Kerpa looks like he's committing. Gonna come in from the side, try to get a nice concave. This initial skunk gas, though, from Kalaru, getting a lot of damage in. But here comes the big burst of the army. All the toads exploding. Kerpa's lost his cams, though, and again, Kalaru's keeping his skunks alive. Those sorts of things can really make the difference. Kerpa barely keeps his commander alive. It would have been very detrimental if the commander would have died there. Wouldn't have been able to sell off those mole warrants and get home. This time around, Kalaru with a sharp defense. Again, it can be difficult for cams to attack into positions like that. I think Kerpa might have had a better chance attacking into the fledgling second base, but I think he was just going for a knockout punch, to be honest. I think he was hoping he was just going to roll over his opponent there. Which, I could kind of understand the thought process behind that. He did just win a big attack, so he's like, maybe I can win the game. It didn't turn out super hot for him. However, both players still staunchly in this match. I do like Kalaru's position a bit better since he's got these farms going up on the second base. But overall, we've actually got very similar amounts of money left in between these two players. One thing that was nice about Kerpa's big engagement here was he knocked out those 2 pigs. You know, Kalaru is not going to be inclined to recreate those pigs. So you can think about, like, all the money that's on these 2 patches of land are also gone, in a way. It's a lot of value, a little vicariously. Okay, this is very nerve-wracking. I love this type of play from Kerpa. Just trying to get in some value in between engagements. You know, even if he picks off a dying pig, you know, that's huge. I'd love to see that tier 2 Warren as a target. Yeah, gonna go. Yeah, he can't decide either. It's rough. Oh no, he sees the tier 3 Warren. Kalaru's not around. He is gonna get home, but not in time to sell it. That is huge. Not only for foiling Kalaru's plans to transition, actually loses 1 cam on the retreat there, but still gladly sacrifice. You know, trading 60 food for 180, but the really foiled Kalaru's plans. And trying to get into that boar is just not going to happen now. Kerpa is 1 chameleon poorer than he would have been, though, for this engagement. This skunk really getting some work done. But Kerpa's going to have enough here. One of those skunks did go down. Another chameleon is on the field. Chameleons do great in situations like this. Kalaru is trying to be annoying. We'll end up losing that skunk. A nice cleanup here for Kerpa. And here comes the counterattack. Gonna push in. You know, a lot of these toads, unfortunately, just end up dying before they can get those big busts. They just want to be busting, man. And I like that sell from Kerpa. I think that was smart. Just go down to some bread and butter here, man. Squirrel Cam. He's got a few units up on Kalaru. Kalaru's got some more Warrens on the way, though. Going to keep producing additional squirrels. And again, we're still pretty even here. Kerpa's got a little bit of a lead. You know, I think he's about 100 food ahead. Good scouting here from Kerpa. Just trying to look around for an additional tier 3 Warren. And Kalaru, you know, taking a little bit of risk, does sell off on that Warren. Oh, interesting. Tries to get a balloon out here. This could position him in a good spot to, you know, really be greedy on farms. But it could also trigger a big attack from Kerpa. However, he did miss that window. The balloon will be up now. And the balloon can be you can target fire with it nowadays. So Kalaru can use that balloon to try to target down the chameleons. Oh, this is a very good game too, man. We've had some good submissions tonight. A little bit of fast forwarding here while the players are kind of licking their wounds, scratching their heads, deciding on when the best time to re-engage is going to be. And 1 balloon shot already on a cam. It's going to come into battle a little bit weak, and these cams go down very quickly, but the balloon falls as well. Kerpa's going to push back out. 60 food for 60 food there, but Kalaru's got these skunks up while Kerpa doesn't have any tier 2. Ooh, this is getting dicey. Kerpa trying to get into some falcons here. I love this, just 3 lizard harass. Not gonna work, but good try. He could even loop all the way around, you know, and try to come into that back entrance. And again, if the lizards get busted, not the end of the world. It's only 3 lizards. Maybe you snipe a couple Warrens back here. The reason you don't see Kalaru doing that sort of thing, though, is it can be devastating if he gets caught. You know, imagine he's like right here, and then Kerpa decides to move in. And he's out and about, and Kerpa ends up taking a good engagement. Going up to 4 skunks and trying to get that third base is Kalaru. Meanwhile, here comes Kerpa. And again, Kalaru's commander's not at home, so one of the skunks is gonna go down immediately. I think another skunk fell right at the start. I think he was at 3 out of 4. I could be wrong. And this time around, Kerpa's getting a lot of work done. He does lose his cams. Keeping this falcon alive would be huge, but Kalaru does get it on the pickup. Kalaru's going to try to come in for the counterattack. Does target fire down that falcon. And is going to maybe get out with this skunk. It's going to be really close. Kerpa really doesn't want this skunk to live. But it looks like it will. This game has just been so back and forth. But although Kalaru traded nicely with that counterattack. I think the big story of this game is when Kerpa pushed forward when Klaru wasn't ready, his commander out and about on the map. You know, that engagement, Kerpa wound up killing off a substantial amount of pigs, which is letting him enjoy a much more fruitful economy for the time being. Klaru trying to reestablish that now. But this is also going to result in him being more spread out. You know, he can't really hunker down. This is a tough spot for Kerpa to attack in with this little small amount of ramp here with some walls around the edges. Now he can attack into this very wide open space. Just moving in again with these chameleons. Rough stuff, man. Klaru really just can't respond to this. Gonna take down that mill. Very nicely done by Kerpa. Doing a really good job of utilizing these cams. I mean, these cams have made some serious plays on some stealth missions this game. Alright, Kerpa's just gonna go for it here. Targeting down this mill immediately. Knows he's gonna take some losses on the engagement, but is just gonna back up. He's crippled Klaru's economy yet again. And he's gonna hope that while at home with this defender's advantage, he can push off this attack from Klaru. This might be Klaru's last hurrah here, but he doesn't have the squirrels required to gun down these falcons. Gonna again just try to go home with these skunks, but he doesn't have the economy to continue squirrel production here. Gonna have to sell off a warren. And this might be it. Really awesome game here, but Kerpa will bust through at this point. Really great game. We've seen some really cool ones tonight. Alright, everybody, we got one more. Please continue to submit replays, everybody. ToothAndTailTV at gmail.com. Sign up for Tooth and Tail Championship Season 2. That's going to start on Monday. Monday's your last day to sign up. Don't be shy. There's 3 separate divisions: beginner, intermediate, and premier. That way, it's not daunting for newer players or more casual players to join the event. These events really keep the scene alive, you know. That's the single most important thing we can do as a community, is just keep producing content, you know, keep creating events, keep participating in the events. We've even got a really big prize pool this time around, so that's awesome. So look forward to that, guys. Of course, we've still got Jet Erickson's Vieshel Qualnes. If you've tuned in late, I cast one of those matches before we started the feast today. And that tournament is still rocking and rolling, man. Really cool. I for one, really enjoy the custom maps. And we've got some really good ones available in Tooth and Tail. And I think it's a bit underutilized, so I love these tournaments from Jet that showcase, you know, some of the hard work that these map creators have done. And, you know, the RNG maps are a big charm for Tooth and Tail, but Tooth and Tail works really, really well with standard maps, too, to be honest. You know, you get some really great maps like Genbu Ravine or something, and, you know, there's some very enjoyable games. So, okay, guys, match number 12. Let's get into it. Last one of the night. We're going to finish strong. We've got Lego Man over on the left, and we've got Airlu on the right. Airlu with a more serious deck this time around. Lego Man not messing around either. Going a little bit lax on that tier 1 in order to fit in an additional tier 2, but Skunk, Falcon, Snake is a really fun comp. You've got a lot of answers for a lot of different play. However, Lego Man is a little bit hamstringed on his tier 1 choices. We don't really count the pigeons. You know, the pigeons are kind of their own thing. We're really looking for, like, Squirrel, Lizard, Mole when it comes to core tier 1. I guess I'd count toads a little bit too, as long as they're not the only one. Obviously, that's just a little bit memey. I like Squirrel Toad, you know. Not as popular as it used to be, but it can still definitely work, especially against chameleons and lizards. So yeah, let's see how this one works. Map fairly balanced. Airlu delayed Mole Rush? Nah. Yeah, I don't think it would really amount to much. Yeah, you can put one there, try to build this, kill this pig that's building. Yeah, we're just gonna have to force that sell from Lego Man. Takes a little bit of damage on that mole. This time around, I don't know if he is going to get the cell, because we do have the squirrel on the way. Yeah, I wonder if Airlu actually doesn't know about that squirrel warren. No, he does. So he should know that this isn't going to work. Maybe a little bit of a miscalculation here from Airlu. And this is going to be a big deal, man. Well, he is going to get back in time. He is going to lose the mole. He's going to lose some money on that warren. So 30 food down. But no harm, no foul. Airlu can play from that deficit. And he did, you know, gain a little bit of an economic advantage in the beginning by forcing the sell on that farm. Delaying that a little bit. Did cost him some money, though. I think he only sold that first warren. I think he lost like 8 or 12 food off of that sell. The Lego Man's been putting in work lately, you know. Really a player that's improved a lot in this last month or so, I want to say. So this is going to be a tough matchup. And Airlu still on top of the game. Still arguably one of the greatest players right now. But a lot of Airlu's strengths were in those moles that did get changed. You know, with the stealth reveal, they haven't been as popular lately. However, Airlu is a versatile player, and the lack of mines is not going to slow him down. Did I say moles? I might have said moles earlier. I meant mines. You guys know what I meant. Oh, Lego Man. Alright, this is super greedy. If he gets away with this... Alright, it's been scouted. Alright, I'm paying attention, man, because I always try to do this kind of crap, and I die. But then again, you know, Airlu has gone for a lot of economy. You know, maybe that's why I die when I try this sort of thing. I think Lego Man did make that tier 3 with some informed decision. He knew Airlu went for a tier 2. He knew Airlu went for several farms. He's like, alright, I'm probably safe enough to go for a few less farms than Airlu, and in exchange, get out my wolf a little bit fast. Also on the back of a lot of tier 2 here. So something like what Lego Man is going for would definitely die to a big tier 1 splurge, but again, Lego Man is not doing this blind. He's scouting, he knows what's up. He's probably going to be pretty happy to see all this tier 2, because he knows that means Airlu's not attacking. And this wolf is getting out. You know, only needs 20 more seconds. He's definitely going to get that. And Airlu just building up to a lot of Cam Falcon off a strong economy. I think this is a pretty smart play. You know, invest in those tier 2 when you got that big boom from the economy. And now that the economy's rolling so hard, it's really easy to kind of sprinkle on the tier 1. They build so quickly. He's going to go for his own wolf, but his wolf is drastically behind. I think if that was the play, maybe should have gone for it a little bit earlier. But hey, late is better than never. Especially if Lego Man doesn't end up attacking anytime soon. And Airlu does get the wolf out. He sees the warren on the way. So Lego Man is going to be able to enjoy the fruits of this fast wolf for a little bit longer. A little bit earlier, I should say. And Airlu sees a double wolf going on. Wolf is not normally the unit we see stacked, but Lego Man is going for it. Positioning some snakes over on the side. Maybe thinking about doing a little bit of harassment. And Airlu's wolf will be able to get out in a timely manner. Airlu does have that third base advantage. Third base is a little bit clunky here for Lego Man on this map. I love Lego Man's build here. I think he's got some really good decision making. But I'm a little bit worried that this might not have been the best map RNG to try to go for the supreme late game strategy. Because, like, look at this for Airlu, man. That's beautiful. 4 bases right there. Let's go. And Lego Man did have a very nice natural. This third is a little bit awkward, but it's doable. It's a little bit rough on how the ramps are. You kind of would have liked, if you're a Lego Man, a ramp like this, you know, into it, but he's got to go all the way around. He's got to kill that cabin. Not a big deal anymore. But if this is a game where we're going to go into a Cold War strategy and just, you know, big arms race, Airlu should, in theory, win out in the end. However, let's see how much composition comes into this here. You know, Lego Man having access to these skunks and snakes However, his front line is a little bit lacking. Skunks are tankier than we give them credit for most of the time. But I don't think they will compare to Mole Cam as far as tankiness goes. But if these skunks get some good gas clouds put out, you know, Airlu does have a decent amount of tier 1. Doesn't have a lot of tier 1. Actually, both players really building up in the Falcons. And here we go. Here's a big engagement. These snakes out front, but they are going to be able to run away. Lego Man starting to throw down that gas cloud. Everything really clumped up here. And yeah, there is a ton of gas, but these Falcons are doing so much work in the air. Airlu did lose his wolves, and Lego Man gets back with both of his. But a big army trade there. However, I think the big moral of the story is both of these wolves still alive, and they're able to buff up some squirrels to chase down these Falcons. That was actually really huge. But Airlu's got a very strong economy. He never got the opportunity to go home and sell off some of these tier 2 warrens, though he definitely needs to in order to continue production on whatever he can. And that's actually really, really bad because a lot of his army is tier 2, right? So it takes a long time for those units to make. And every second counts when your opponent is busting down on your front door. Lego Man knocked out that third and is continuing to crush forward. Even killed a couple pigs on the second. And this might just be too much damage here. Airlu's gonna have to sell off more of this tier 2, but how long he's been blocked here in his production really might have been the nail in the coffin this game. I don't really blame Airlu for it. You know, he did need his commander up on the front lines to micro against the constant aggression from Lego Man, but he just really, really needed to sell down a bit quicker. And sure, Lego Man's blocked as well, but Lego Man's got enough here, especially with these double wolves. And it's funny because there's just not that many units on the board to see these wolves like buffing each other up. Alright, Airlu's starving. He just doesn't have enough. He's going to try to muster up one more army, but he needs to build another mill in order to get out of starvation. There's no slots left, and these snakes doing a great job against these chameleons, especially buffed up. They're so fast. There's some roomy boys here. Buffed up speed, applying that slow with the poison. Just kind of kiting these chameleons to their death. And I think Airlu's just going to have to tap. He's going to be resilient here. Going to try to build something. You know, it's hard to tell. Maybe he doesn't think he's as far behind. You know, I've definitely been in games like that where I'm like, all right, I still got this. You know, obviously we get the advantage of access to all the vision here. Airlu knows his key to win this is to knock out those wolves. I really think part of this, the reason, you know, Lego Man won this game was that both of his wolves survived that initial melee where Airlu's wolf died, right? And think how much value these wolves have been getting in this like scrappy follow-up. You know, if Airlu would have been able to knock out one or both of these wolves, we could have seen an entirely different game where after the initial engagement, both players were kind of at parity. And they almost were, but Lego Man keeping those wolves alive. You know, at first glance, it was like, all right, Lego Man got his wolves, but Airlu got a few falcons. But with the reinforcing speedy squirrels, those falcons falling down as well. And then Airlu just with such a heavy tier 2 army, no economy to reinforce it. It was very rough. Some awesome resilience here coming out from Airlu. My controller actually just died? Oh no, it didn't. Why did it turn off? Was I not using it for that? Oh yeah, it's dead. But it died at the perfect time, guys, because the show is over anyways. Nicely done there from Lego Man. That is it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, as always. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend. And again, we got plenty of events going on. We've got Jet Erickson's Viational Qualnez tournament up and about. We've got Tooth and Tail Championship League number 2 starting on Monday. Sign up for that, guys. Monday's your last day to sign up. Keep sending me Tooth and Tail replays at ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com as always. And that is it. We made it. A lot of casting today, but it was fun. It's always fun hanging out with y'all. Alright, everybody. I guess I will see y'all next time. Take care. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Backstreet Boys reunion tour is going on out there.